All right. Good evening, everybody. So, welcome to today's class. And today I would only be introducing you to Figma with the hope that tomorrow we'll have more people to join us. So, before I go into what Figma entails or what Figma is, let me use this opportunity to just say a little bit about product design. So, when we talk about product design, it's a career path in tech that involves you like that involves you making something, how would I put it, like a realistic coming up with a realistic information about the idea of a particular solution or a particular product. And by saying a realistic solution, I don't just want to limit it to just wireframes and prototypes alone. There are so many things involved in product design. We have wireframing, we have prototyping, we have user information, we have design guide, so many things. So even user experience itself, like how would I put it? Something that makes it easy, that makes the product easy and accessible for almost every user. So yeah, those are what product design entails. And when it comes to things, or should I say tools that are used in like designing our products, Figma is one of them. So other tools involve Sketch, Adobe XD, etc., etc. Some people also use Photoshop, they use for the Corel Draw. But from my own personal opinion, I just think that those ones are just like graphic tools. Photoshop is like particularly concerned about pictures and all those media, them just a picture in general, while Corel Draw involves graphics in general. And by saying graphics, not just pictures, we have shapes, we have objects, we have all those also can also be expected as pictures and everything. So without further ado, let me just share my screen now and take you through to Figma website. Okay. Figma.com. Figma.com is the website, official Figma website. And if you don't have an account, kindly just go to figma.com and create an account ASAP, because Figma is a tool that we'll be using in this session as we proceed from here. So right about now, this is what my Figma interface looks like, and the reason why it is coming here is because I'm already logged in. Because I'm already logged in as Bolu Akinsefunmi. So if not, you would have probably like get to see the whole dashboard and everything. If you are coming here for the first time, you probably see something like Shift10, email.com. Please, I believe everybody can. Oh, you can't see my screen. Hold on. Let me just share and reshare so that. Hold on. Let me just stop this session and reshare. Probably to come. Present the entire screen. All right. And please, can any I don't know if you guys can see my screen.
We can't see the screen.
All right, I think you should be up by now. I believe everybody what I was referring to the other time. Um, yeah, so if you go to figma.com, you'll be presented with a screen like this if you are not logged in yet or you've not signed up. So what is expected of you is to come to this sign up and probably sign up with your Google account or just use your preferred email address and set a password and sign up ASAP. So after signing up, I will also like recommend that you download the Figma what's it called? Application. It is you just click this just come to downloads. When you come to product, you come to downloads. So under downloads, you should be able to like get your desktop app, probably for either what's it called, for either operating system that you are using. So I kind of have Figma on my machine already. So I'm going to open the app now because this is just a brief introduction to the user interface and a quick start. So tomorrow we might probably like get into like seeing how the frame tool, the pen tool, and all of these two, how they function and they work hand in hand. So I'm opening up my Figma file at the moment. All right, so okay, this thing is going to attempt to open up my current design. Let me come to the home so that you see. So whenever you open your Figma file for the first time, this is the screen that you'll be presented with. And the way Figma is kind of lightweight. Let me put it that way. You can also access and use Figma on the web, like directly inside your browser. That is how easy it is to use Figma. Like even if you are finding it difficult to like download the app and install it on your machine, you can use Figma directly on your browser. So like when you go to figma.com, this particular interface that you're looking at is the same thing that is being shown here. This sidebar is still loading. It has not fully loaded, probably due to my network or so. So, but this is the interface that you are presented with, and this is what you get to access. So it is the same thing as what you have on the uh, browser as well. So whichever works for you. I actually prefer to use the app than to use the browser because it takes the load off Chrome and just using a different app than to just overload my Chrome with stuff. So yeah, coming down to this interface, we have so many things that this particular section is just some couple of templates that you see that are suggested from the community. And what you have down here is the recently viewed files, like the files that are the design files that I've recently viewed or worked upon. So they are listed here, and that's that about that. Then at the top here, whenever you want to start a new design, you can come and click this new design file. Then this one is a prototype, prototypical file known as FigJam. Then this one is if you are importing a particular file from other, probably other design software. The only software that I'm quite certain of now is Sketch. I don't know if we can actually import Adobe XD files to come and use in a Figma, but I'm pretty sure that you can import Sketch files to come, Sketch design files to come and use on Figma. You can also import some couple of image files. So over here at the top, we have these tabs, like what I'm actually like dragging here. Those are our tabs. Whenever you open a particular design or template, you see it open as a tab on your what's it called. So then we also have our screen, our menu items at the top, our toolbar. So whenever, let's say we are going to start with a new design now, let's go and look at that interface. All right, so yeah, this is what I was talking about the sidebar. If you compare it with what we have in the browser, it is the same thing. This is what I have in my browser. I have the drafts, community, upgrade plan, and some couple of projects on the left-hand side here. Yeah? So the same thing is applicable to what we have on the app. So whichever one goes for you, either the application or the web application. So yeah, if you are starting with a new design, all you have to do is just come to new design file, or you come to file here and you start with new file. So or probably there's a particular shortcut. All this combination of keys that are written on the right hand side, they are shortcut that you can use to like run or quickly perform that action. So let's say we are going to new design file here now. And as you open this new design file, I'll just like walk you through this interface and what each of them entails. So starting from the left-hand side. On the left-hand side where my mouse is currently, this is what I would like to call the Figma main menu. So here you have access to some couple of options like your plugins, your files, and so many other stuff. So you have files, you have plugins, you have interactions, preferences, libraries, app and account, objects, vectors, and some quick actions. So then the next one here is the mouse tool. This mouse tool, anywhere you see something that looks like a drop down like this V that is pointing down on Figma, just note that still some options that you can just click and drop down. So whenever you click on this drop down, you see that you can use this particular tool and change it to the one for scale. So the shortcut is this V and K. Like if I press K on my keyboard now, it automatically goes to scale. If I press V, it automatically goes to the move tool. So these are the tools for that mouse. Then we have our frame tool. So these are our frame tool that what we can use to like, how would I put it, create an artboard. Initially, this mouse was highlighted. So when you click on this frame tool, you see that it brings out some couple of frame options. So if you want to start with it, a particular template, probably is a template for iPhone 13 Pro Max, or for Android small, or for tablet or for desktop. Let's say I'm using iPhone 13 Pro as bring it up to the screen or to the screen with the actual measurement and frame size. So you don't have to start wondering if the height is going to be enough or the width is going to be enough for that particular layout, and it's going to serve as your artboard. So peradventure I delete this one and I want to just use a manual size. I can just come and draw the frame manually, and I have my frame now up and running. Then whenever I create a particular object or art or graphics or image or anything, I kind of have it on this layer panel that is on the left hand side here. So it's written as layer. This is where I have my frame. So the way this thing is structured is actually like each item on the page is an item on the frame layer. So you can, as soon as you keep on adding files, you keep on seeing them there. Then you can also see the assets by here. These are where you create reusable components. Reusable component works in such a way that whenever you have a component, you can actually create a single component and reduplicate it over several instances, and one being the master, while the other one being the how will I put it, the children. So yeah, that's that about that place. Then we can also create pages too. So for the pages, this is actually like on page 1 as you've seen here. So you can just click on this plus to create another page, and from there you keep on progressing and moving on. So yeah, another tool that we have here is the rectangle tool. So you can use this one to draw rectangle shapes. That's what it stands for. Then other tools that we have under this rectangle tool, we have line, we have arrow, we have ellipse, we have polygon, we have star, we have one for placing image. So we have this pen tool as well. And under the pen tool, you will see we have pen and we have pencil. We have our text tool, and we have this our hand tool for dragging stuff. So let's say I come and let me just add a circle and ellipse on the screen, and probably I want to move that one around. I can just come and use my hand tool and use it to drag stuff around. So yeah, so then we have this comment toolbox also. Is for you to like, probably when you are working in teams and you are collaborating with people, you can actually like do a particular component or a particular design or a particular graphics and decide to add a component, add a comment for others to see when they come to come and check your design with you, as because you guys are working together and stuff like that. Then what we have in the center here is where you give the name of the file that you're working on. If you look at this tab here, it's also written as untitled because I still have untitled as the name. So if you come and click on this drop down and select rename, you can now give it a new project. Say intro, let's say Figma interface. All right, so by the time you do that and you press enter, it's going to set it as the new name of the file, and you can see the file updated here on the tab as well as the new name of the file. Then what we have here is the person that is viewing this document. The person that is viewing this document as of this moment, if multiple people are viewing it, you'll actually see their user icon here as they view it. Then this button is for sharing or getting this particular design across to other people as well. If peradventure you've like done a prototype and some couple of animations linking one component to the other, one page to the other, one frame to the other, you can use this particular play button to play that. And this one is for scaling and viewing in your design. So you can just zoom out and zoom in as you like and as you wish. So, and at the same time, you can use your mouse for that. So then going further, let me talk a little bit about some couple of options. Okay, let me just bring in a rectangle. Yep. So when you look at this, your right hand side, you discover that there's a panel there. We have the tab for design, the tab for prototype, and the tab for inspect. So inspect is like a place that shows you some couple of attributes about the object that is presently selected. So by seeing the attribute as like the properties like the width, the height, some couple of designs that are applied to it, the colors. And funny enough, you actually happen to see the CSS code of the particular object that you selected. So look at what is written here. This is the CSS code. So you might, assuming you are working on the web now, you want to kind of like wondering how this thing is going to be implemented, you can just come here, click that particular component and see what it entails. So that is that about this inspect. Then prototype. Prototype is just a way for you to turn your design to an actual prototype that you can play, and it will like simulate the action as a user as it is expected to be as the user is using the what's it called? As the user is using the applications. Let's say you are designing a particular website, and as the user clicks a particular button, it goes to another place. Yeah, the prototype is going to work with that. So they have ways of creating interactions between one component or the other, between one frame, one object or the other, of establishing the connection between them. That's where the prototype comes in. Then we have our design tab. Most of the time, let me just say a greater percentage of the time, you'll be spending your time on this design aspect. So this design tab is where you get to assign so many properties and attributes to the object that you've selected. So this is the object that we've selected. This very first one, they are for alignment and balancing, something like that. So we have different options here: align left, align horizontal center, align right, align top, align vertical center, align bottom. So that's just that about that. These ones are for certain properties about the position on the x-axis, position on the y-axis, the width, the height, the angle of rotation, and the border radius. That's the corner radius of each of the objects that you selected. So, and at the same time, using this one, you can actually constrain proportions like as the height is increasing, so should the width be increasing. As the height is reducing, so should the width be reducing. Then let's say you want to apply individual border radius to this particular object, you can actually use this small rectangular icon here and set, let's just say 10, and 10. So for this particular, let me just say 50. 50. All right, for this particular image, now you see that there's corner radius at the upper left and upper right corner, but there's nothing on the lower left and lower right corner. So that's that about border radius. So as well, we have the constraint. The constraint is a way of making things responsive. So what can I use to describe this now? So it's just a way of, let's say you have this, our initial frame now. We can actually set the constraint of this thing, of this object in it to be like, okay, let's say it is going to scale with the parent. So if we say it is going to, the top is going to scale with the parent, and the bottom too, the height and the width should scale with the parent. That means I can select this frame, and as I am increasing this frame, the content that is inside it will be increasing with it. So you see that as I'm reducing it, whatever is inside it will also be reducing with it. So, but peradventure, I did not use scale. I used probably something else. Let me say left, and let me say this one bottom. And I just come and look at my frame, and I try to reduce and increase, you see that the content is not really reducing and increasing, which is like as it is expected to scale. So the constraint is what you can use to like set responsive scaling with your design. Then we have layers. Layer is a way that you can actually use to blend stuff together. So either you want to darken, you want to multiply, you want to do a color bond. So let's say you have two different layers of a component or object on top of each other, and you want to apply. So this is a color dodge. As soon as a color dodge is applied, it just went through like that. So let me just return it back to the default. So that's that about that. Then we have the fill. The fill is what you use to add colors and everything. So you can actually use a solid color, you can use a linear, you can use gradient, you can use different color items and color options. And as it is, you can actually apply like different other color properties and everything. Let's say this one is solid, this one is radial, and a little bit of red. So like that's what the fill is for applying colors. Then we have our stroke. Our stroke is for applying outline. So that's like the shape that you apply to this particular object. Then we also have our effects. We have some couple of effects here like a blur, drop shadow, layer blur, inner shadow, and background blur. So then we also have the export option. The export option is for you to probably export a particular object or design as a picture, or as an SVG, or as a PDF, or as a JPG, as you want to, however you wish. Then you can actually see the preview option, that you can see the preview of what you are going to export, how it's going to look like when you export it. So basically that's that about the layout, the user interface of Figma application. So here is the help where you can like probably you have access to some couple of resources, the F-Center, the support forums, a couple of YouTube videos, the release notes, keyboard shortcuts, reset onboarding, legal summary, submit feedback as a community, contact support, etc., etc. So tomorrow, by the grace of God, we are going to start with this frame tool. We are going to start with this frame tool to like go more in depth into how we are going to use these tools for our design. So I don't know if there's any question that anybody wants to ask before I drop the curtain on our class for today. Hello? All right. In the absence of any question,
there is question, please.
okay, what's your question, please?
Please, you talk about plugin the other time when we started the lecture.
Yep.
What is the work of the plugins?
Okay, all right. So plugins are tools that are developed, like not necessarily by you, but all in all, they make your work faster and they make it easier for you to develop stuff. So take for example now, let's say you want to create an icon. Let's say something that looks like a back button. So you might probably end up doing something like this. Let me bring this further. Let's say you want to create something that looks like a back button. I might end up doing something like this.
Oh, we can't see the screen anymore.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
It's back, right?
Yes, yes.
All right. So let's say you want to create a back button, you can actually come and do something like this to create your back button or something that looks like a back button. Then probably add some couple of colors. Then add a weight to the stroke. That's too much. Let me make it 5. Add a weight to the stroke. Then after adding the weight to the stroke, what else? So yeah. So now instead of you going through that process, you can, okay, let me just press done. Instead of you going through that process of creating this particular, whatever it is that you need, you can probably look for a particular plugin So if you are looking for plugin and you come to your plugin section, there is actually a particular place where you browse plugin in the community. So when you click on that, it takes you to this your home page, and you can search, search your resources and creator. You can just enter whatever it is you want to search, this plugin widget, whatever, design system, wireframes. You can search for a lot of stuff. But going back to that, what we are doing. So I didn't mean like I had a plugin for icons. I do have a plugin for icons. So I have Iconify somewhere here. Yeah, Iconify. So instead of me going through the whole drawing of that particular icon manually from the scratch, I can just make use of Iconify. I will just search for the icon that I need, and let's say back. I need the back button. So I just enter back, then search icons. So there are so many. See, this was what I was trying to do. This back arrow something. So like there are so many options here, so many alternatives to choose from, and I can just select one and import icon. So by the time I import the icon, it will be available on my board, and this is it here. This is it here. So I can just decide to like now go ahead and make it to like increase the size, then probably add another color. Let's say it was black before, I want to change it to maybe bluish or something. So like I can just go ahead and just focus on applying designs rather than creating these things from scratch. Like it makes the whole work faster. That's the whole purpose of having plugins and everything. But at the end of the day, it always makes sense to like have understanding of how these things are created, so that in case you are dealing with something that requires a custom solution, you not find yourself running a task. So that's that about that. So any other question? Do you understand? Oh, I think Adeson is gone. Anyways, that's that. All right. Any other question before I call
Thank
it a
you.
day? Oh, Adesami, you are welcome back. Oh, I was just wondering where you went to. What happened?
Please, I want to
I'm
ask
very
question.
sorry, I had some interaction.
All
I
right.
want to know the
So yeah, Matt, you said? Hello, Mata, please
Sorry,
come again.
I received a call. I'm very sorry.
Okay. All right, no problem.
Is that
I say
I didn't get your question, Mata.
I want to know the main function of this Figma.
We use Figma to produce designs, but not just any designs. It is
The main
majorly
function,
for
the main work of Figma.
the, the primary function of Figma is to produce designs and prototypes for your websites and applications. And by prototypes for website and application, I mean something that looks
Okay.
like this. So like, take for example, this is the design of an application, but it is not the application itself. This is just something that
Mm.
application is going to look like.
your screen? No,
Ah,
please. Sir.
Your screen is not on.
Okay.
it is on right now, yeah. So this is what
Yes.
the UI of an application looks like. This is not the application itself, but it is the design that is telling the developer that this is what I need you to create for me. So whenever you are working, you reference this particular UI to like apply those properties to your code. Then you know that, okay, this is how they want this place to be. It's not as if you just sit down and be cracking your brain whether this particular border radius is enough, or whether this width and height is enough, or whether this you should use a Poppins font or a Montserrat or like any other font. But like it gives you the exact idea of what you need to do and how you should do it. So that's why you have Figma.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Any other question, please?
One more question, please.
Yeah.
I would like to have the link to.
You will have to like to have what?
Please, one more question.
Fire on, please.
Hello? Please, what is the meaning of that UI and UX? I don't
User
understand it.
interface. UI means user interface. UX means user experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Matter. You are requesting for something.
Yeah, the link. I'll use Figma.
Oh, just go to
The link.
figma.com.
Figma.com.
Yep.
Hello. Hello.
I don't know. Hello there. Just go to figma.com.
Please, I'm having network issue here. I don't know if we have the video later.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. So yeah, the link to it all is at figma.com. Okay, this
Okay,
thing
now.
is taking some time to load, but so when you go to figma.com, you'll be able to access. Like you can sign up there and download the Figma app so that you can start using it. So any other question?
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, in the absence of any question, I will be drawing the curtain. So see you all again tomorrow by 8 o'clock while we get to shed light on how we use these tools like our frame, our pen, our rectangle tools. See how we use them, in creating stuff, in building stuff tomorrow.
Yeah.
So 8 p.m. again tomorrow till 9 p.m. maximum. I can't like just 1 hour of your time.
Okay.
It won't take more than 1 hour. We've been here for more than 30 minutes now, according to what I have on my timestamp, because we did not
Thank you
start
so
exactly by
much.
8 p.m. as we did not have many people to join us on time. But nevertheless, 8 o'clock
All
again
right.
tomorrow. I'll be expecting you all. So it is bye-bye for now.
Fine.